Does go live. We have.
Join Tim and Christina Madden, co-founders of Executive Career Upgrades, on their podcast, the Executive Career Upgrades Podcast. As an executive in today's highly competitive job market, it can be tough to succeed. However, with Tim's nationally recognized career advice and Christina's mindset expertise, you can reach your full potential. Tune in to upgrade your career and get ahead of the competition.
We live now? We are live. Hey, welcome to the Executive Career Upgrades Podcast with your hosts, Tim and Christina Madden. Hey, we help those, right? Get the job, keep the job, and hopefully excel at the job.
And love the job.
Love the job. Hey, we've been so successful about that. I just have to share, Christina, we have been responsible inside Exec Upgrades. We're approaching Q1, right? The completion of Q1 here shortly. We have been responsible for over nearly 650 multiple six-figure interviews.
Wow. You mean people are hiring?
A lot of people don't think they're hiring, but a lot of people are hiring.
What?
Yes, a lot of people are hiring.
That's wild.
So the stats are 638 people, professionals, right, have been on interviews. Those are the ones, too, that they've told us about. So I always just say, man, we could probably add 30 more percent because sometimes people are so busy, they don't tell us all the interviews they go on.
Then we have to send Chelsea after you.
Exactly. So, hey, we have been responsible for 50 high-level six-figure offers as well. There's still 45 pending because, hey, we negotiate on your behalf if you ever work with us, right? So whether it's more base, bonus, equity, etc. Yeah, Christina, I'm super excited about today's topic. I know we have so many cool updates, but first I just want to say one more thing. We appreciate you if you're tuning in now or if you're listening on Apple. So to all of our friends on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, we see Instagram as well. We appreciate you. Christina and I are committed to showing up for you each week to give you the tactics and strategies that you need in this competitive market. Because one thing I want to start with, and then I will be quiet for a second, okay, is no matter what industry you're in, at what level you're in, you have roughly 20 on the low end. 20,000 people are in your industry at your level that have the exact same skills as you, that have the degree as you, that have the MBA as you, that have all paid a couple $100 or $1,000 to have their resume done, right? And this is your competition, like it or not. Christina.
Yeah, everybody at the director, VP, and executive level, they're all qualified on paper. So everyone thinks that they're the best for the job. We're about to tell you, wait, you break through and let people know you are the best. Okay. What Tim forgot to say, I think you forgot to say, in the Executive Career Network, we are consistently growing network people per week. We're at 12,900. So I can't thank you enough for all you guys being there. However, like I keep saying every week, it's like crickets over there. You guys interact, get the information that you need. I also know calls every week. I think we're booking literally, guys, just 6 to 7 days out with a very large team of enrollment specialists. So what that tells me is that people are desperate for help. People are hurting. And they're experiencing rejection and they're fumbling. People are fumbling. People don't know how to get jobs, right? Everything's changed. And a lot of people don't want to accept that things have changed so drastically in the job search. So what I need you to do, if you haven't booked a call or you have booked a call and decided not to move forward with our services, get active in that group. It's growing every day. This week, one of our enrollment specialists, Derek, did a quick live. You might want to pop over there and listen to it. That is about our career necessities workshop coming up on Tuesday the 19th. I'll go ahead and roll into that announcement. Right now, we're holding a 6-hour event, guys. Like, we could not put more value into this for the price if you freaking tried. $99. If you're listening to this podcast right now, we're giving you 50% off. So Chelsea, it might take her a second, but I'm going to have her drop in the link for you to get 50% off. There's not a ton of details on that about the event, but this is going to get you your ticket secured at that $49. Guys, I want to make this as easy as possible for you to get in the room to learn how to get a job. Like, this is your moment. this is your moment to get all of the information that we teach our clients in one workshop. And we want to make sure that you're able to do that. So you're going to figure out exactly what the points are that stop people from getting the job. So take a look at the link. Chelsea will also drop the event link. So it'll give you the details. That's next Tuesday, the 19th, p.m. Tim and I, 6 hours intensive, making sure that you know exactly how to get the job. Period.
To the people that are listening now, to the people that are listening over on Spotify or Apple because they didn't tune in live, we want to give you the link. The link is career.execupgrades.com/workshop. So one more time, career.execupgrades.com/workshop. If you want the discount code to save 50% off, email me at tim@execupgrades.com. I will get you that. I just briefly, before we get started, want to talk about what we're going to be doing right over this nearly full day with Christina and I, right? We're going to talk about how to get clear on, so really it's who is this for, right? So it's not only for, hey, I need a job right now. If you plan on leaving this year or in the next 36 months, these are things that you need to know regardless of what you're targeting at what level. So we're going to be talking about how to get clear on your next target, right? Like what should your next career move be? And what are some things you should consider as you make that move into your next role, right? Number 2, how do I brand myself effectively, not just with the resume, but online so people can find me easier, right? The other thing is how to generate interviews, which is probably the most asked question all the time. How do we get on interviews? We're going to show you, how we do it at execupgrades.com or here at Executive Career Upgrades, right?
But this is also for people, even if you think like, oh, hey, you know what, I'm pretty happy with my job, but like this is also going to teach you to be prepared for a reduction in force, but also are you earning what you're supposed to be earning? What could be the next barrier that could hold you back if you decide to stay with this company for a long time? So this is all things career. This is a 360 holistic view of your career. And if that sounds like something that you need as you're planning for the next 10 years, maybe it's your last 10 years before retirement, and you really want to maximize your earnings and your fulfillment and your impact, this is absolutely for you. It's going to be a very tactical workshop.
We put the workbook together. It's literally going to be so amazing. There's going to be so much value. We hope to see you there. The 2 things I want to go over, 2 more things we're covering. Once we get on those interviews, right, how do we convert them into offers, right? And then how do we have conversations about money? Christina, with the money. No one likes to talk about money. We help a lot of people. Why don't people like talking about what their worth is? Probably because they're just not trained and know how to ask. Do you think that's what it is? Why do you think so many people struggle with salary negotiation?
Well, typically that's a mindset issue. There's been a conditioning somewhere along the line, when you were younger. Your parents and your grandparents, they didn't want to talk about money. It was very hush-hush. It seemed like it was, in the realm of, politics or religion or whatever. It's like off-limits topic. And I think that's where the conditioning starts. And then, of course, some people I know actually come from a very level of, like, even just poverty. So this all starts from childhood. And then, of course, yes, most people know how to have the conversation. So fear around talking around money is usually because you don't have a plan, you don't know how to talk about money. And again, that's the same with interviewing or networking. The reason it seems so scary is because you don't have a plan. Now, I know that I have our newest podcast assistant. Were you texting me? Okay, cool. Let me go and look at that. I was getting a funny look, like, you have a question. So, the mic is going in and out. Okay, well, let us
plugged it in a little more.
If you guys notice a sound problem, please just let me in the comments and let us know. I did not get a text question, but
well, let's roll into. Hey, we're going to get started. Your career first. We have. Hey, we just full of events. We have something else we want to talk about that is going on this summer. Christina, would you like to talk about that a bit?
Yes, but although I do feel like I'm overloading you guys with announcements.
Maybe we talk about that next week.
Yeah, I don't want to overload you with announcements. That's for sure. But do we have any client wins that you want to share? So you talked a little bit about all of the interviews. What about some recent wins and offers?
Yeah, great question. There's too many. I can't
Too
pick them.
many.
Yeah, when I look at there was golf this week, and I mean, each comes with its own story. I guess the ones I gravitate to more than often, right, are the ones that are the large salary increases. We recently had a VP of marketing 2.5x their salary, so she was a little happy.
Amazing.
We had someone who, of course, never thought it was going to happen for him, right? And then he found the job and the money that he deserved. There's just so many. We had someone leave a review today, Mike O, talking about starting his next opportunity. So,
got it. Okay, so we have Jonah who loves talking about money. Me too, Jonah. Let's go. Okay, let's get into this topic. Are we still having a mic problem? Are we still having a mic
let's roll
problem?
into it. Hey, episode 123,
Yes.
Upskilling strategies. Hey, we are committed each week again to telling you taxing strategies to aid you. We know that it is difficult. It is difficult. It's difficult to land a new role because you have so much competition. So while we're going to provide you with lots of tactics and strategies, the first strategy I have is the ultimate hack to success. The ultimate hack to success in the book, Think and Grow Rich, is typically, hey, to get help, right? If what I tell our clients a lot is just because you're a successful insert here, you could be watching in a successful project manager. You could be a director of sales. You could be great at sales, marketing, finance, whatever it is for you. But getting a new role is totally different, right? Me and Christina, one of the reasons I feel we've been so successful is, Christina, how many mentors do you have? Like, really?
Probably 6 right now.
6 mentors.
So that's one in like every area of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know now, like when I think, okay, I'm going to go after this new goal or have this new thought about something like the announcement we were getting ready to make about this event in the summer. Oh man, guys, I'm so sorry about the audio. Maybe you could take a second to figure that out or take a look at that. But when I get a new idea, just letting you know. Maybe you can check the cord connection down here. I know that my best hack to getting to that goal as fast as possible is if I go and I seek help. That's the very first thing I do. Who can I go out and find? Who can I go out and find that has already achieved it or is doing better than me in that area? That's my very first step. I don't think about anything else anymore. I don't try to put together the plan myself. I don't try to go about anything alone anymore. It's silly. It can be defeating, and I just gain some wisdom as far as that goes.
One of the things is really because it's fine. So one of the biggest things is when you're trying to go somewhere you haven't been. Here's what I want to do. I want a blueprint. I want a roadmap. And why wouldn't you want to follow someone, right? Like have a guide. So number one, I want to start off with when we are talking about upskilling strategies, right? Is hey, if you don't specialize in it, just get help. So maybe it's not even in the career. Maybe you're struggling with leadership tactics and challenges, right? Why not get someone to aid you in that? Maybe you need to know how to better communicate. Maybe it could be something analytical. Right? I'm not sure what it is for you, or maybe it's in your life. But the easiest thing to do is to just get help with people who have done it already before. What's number 2?
Why don't you start number 2?
Okay. So you need to identify your skill gaps. I kind of briefly just touched about that, right? Where are you? Okay. We talked about self-assessments before. A lot of people, when they get older, don't take the time to sit down. I think it was like 4 months ago, there was a leadership assessment I provided, which is like, hey, where are you at? Right? Where do you need the most help inside leadership? So number one, I would say, we're talking about career right now.
It's right in there.
This is some not moving in. I love you so much. You want me to be like this, guys?
Yeah,
Instagram, can you hear me? Mine doesn't work. Okay. Of course, Mike. Apparently, we need to use Christina. Take it away, Christina. We're having a technical problem. Sorry, guys. We are not tech experts. Hey,
just by the way,
we
if
need to hire.
if you
what
thought
happens identify
thought about podcasting, let me just tell you guys, yeah, go and get an expert. Actually, we've had experts out here like weekly and next week again. And even here's how you know you're working towards something. You keep failing over and over and over again until you get it right. So I can't tell you how many sound issues we've had, et cetera, in the podcast room, but you just show up, you keep showing up. That's what we're doing. It's a learning. Okay. So we talked about identifying skill gaps, right? We talked about getting a mentor. We talked about setting clear learning objectives. But what about your mindset? What about cultivating a growth mindset? And I apologize to Instagram. I had to close my my live stream there. Okay, I think
Hey,
okay.
You keep moving in the way. When I'm close, they say I'm good. I'm good. So which one were you just?
Well, I probably bounced around here a little bit, probably. But we need to cultivate a growth mindset. Not having a fixed mindset, not being, closed off to learning. So many people come into our environment that think they've learned it all, they know it all, or they're extremely resistant to change and growth and learning new skills. So you have to, if you think about your mind, right?
Which is why, hey, whenever I learn something new, maybe this will help you. Here's where literally my brain goes. I know when I start something new, I'm got it. Right? Like if I am doing something I've never done before, I'm aware and I have the humility to say, I'm probably not going to be very good at it. Right? How do you get better at something? The only way to get better at something is, hey, follow some type of blueprint roadmap, get someone else, or simply doing it. Right? So I think that's why most people struggle. They think like, oh, I'm a seasoned sales leader. I've led a bunch of teams, and then they do something different, and they immediately get frustrated or they're just resistant.
Well, guess what, guys? That's the ego. That's the ego. You have a big ego that, makes you feel like you know it all or that you can't learn and grow from people, you're already losing.
Formal training and education. This is one of the reasons why, I think in Q4 last year, we finally are we implemented certification programs here, grades, right? Just very much like school, it's one thing to just go over the material. Then it's another thing to, check on learning site, like make sure that you know it. So that's why we have certification programs here, like interviewing, networking, salary negotiations. Okay, you need formal education and training to get better. A lot of people imagine this. Hey, and think to yourself for a second. Have you spent any time, money, or resources since you got your degree or education? Most people in corporate America right now, when they have a corporate ladder, the last time they went through some formal education was when they got back in the 90s or their MBA. Okay, so think about this. Hey, are you hooking up, connecting, collaborating? Are you attending a conference once a year, right, on leadership? Are you taking some time to develop your skills? Are you going through some programs? They have them all the time, even at the Harvard too. We just Derek through it, in Q4, a strategic sales management class for I think it was like 1995, right? 1,000.
Yeah.
But it was $2,000. But right, but hey, you're worth it. The only way you can get better is to invest in yourself, whether it be some type of formal training or education.
So Charlene asked, hey, what are some ideas on where to find a good mentor when someone is fairly new to the country and don't have a large network? Here, because we get this question a lot, especially about people who have come to America and they're new here. And first of all, hey, you found your squad, you found your people right here as far as getting a mentor that can help you grow and grow your network really fast with automation, make your connections, meaningful connections really fast, ones that actually are aligned with your goals and your career and your life. And second to that, why don't you share? I want you to share Jamie's story because that's just like probably my favorite story. But can you quickly highlight? You're gonna love this, Charlene.
Yeah, Charlene. So it was he came in 2021, right? He came from Nicaragua, right? He was searching for, he actually got political asylum here in the United States, right? Because there was, you know, going on in his country. He was the CFO of a bank over there. Imagine coming to Miami, Florida, in a totally new country, not knowing anyone, and English is your second language. English was his second language. Then I always make a joke and say, when we first connected with him, he said he wanted to live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was like, how do you even know where Raleigh is, right? We were able to help him, Charlene, you know, develop relationships with key people at Bank of America. But what I wanted to say was, hey, how did he find us? Number one, be searching for someone. So that's my
Here
message.
you are. Here you are.
Here you are. So number one, I would say this: a lot of people just kind of sit around, right? So you're with us right now. Hey, if you need help in your career in any facet, we'd love to help you. Now,
At
other things,
execupgrades.com/.
other things is this: hey, when I'll tell you how I make decisions, I typically ask friends and family members that are more successful than me, what are their suggestions? Again, keynote: I only ask people that have attained success greater than me. And then number two, hey, I look at Google reviews and BBB stuff, right? Well, like when I try to go with the local company, when I want to say, hey, who has invested time, effort, and energy to make sure that they have lots of positive reviews? I reviewed the reviews. Now I feel comfortable. Hey, if they're a 4.5 rated and they have 50 reviews, I feel pretty confident that, you know, so those are just,
We send that because we are very proud of
we are 4.9 on Google. Yeah. So, but those are some ways, right? Network. Number one, know that, well, actually, this is great. We could do a whole podcast episode on this. Number one,
Charlene, make sure you book a call and get some help with this, because the number one mistake I find that people make as they move toward wanting to build a network is they book a lot of calls, they connect with people that, again, like Tim said, like not doing quite as well as you, or definitely not in a position that will take your career to the next level. You might make friends along the way. Remember, we want to focus on building a strong, fruitful, powerful network. We don't want to spend all day we want to be in a position of power. So don't waste your time, book a call and learn how to build that network.
The other thing too, if you do that, I just have one more piece of advice for anyone out there looking for some type of mentor. The first thing you need to do is you need to be clear on the help you need. Mm-hmm. So many people are confused and they know they need help, but when you ask them what they need help on, I'm just not sure. So I would say, hey, you know, what kind of help do you actually need?
Model, mimic, master. That's what our mentor says. So finding a model, okay, again, who's doing it better, mimicking their behaviors, and ultimately mastering what they do. Like the greatest hack to building your network and finding a mentor.
Yeah. But Christina, as people wrote all these, we have job training, technology, cross-functional teams, you know, staying current with what's happening in the market. We'll touch on a couple of those, but hey, there is the problem people have is they're their own worst enemy a lot of the time. So they say things, you know, they're resistant to change, resistant to technology. They think they know too much. They're overqualified. They're too old. All of the
Just head on over to Amazon. My paperback book is less than $4 right now. And what this is a quick, easy read and guide to getting your mindset in check, managing your thoughts and emotions so you can actually get out of your way and become your greatest asset and not your greatest enemy and liability. I'd love for you guys to get that in your hands. It's changed a lot of lives. But yeah, what ways am I in my own way? And typically, and you're going to, if you guys listen to our podcast week over week, you're going to be like, oh, here we go. Tim and Christina talking about habits again. But
it's number 3. I just told it to our enrollment team today. What is number 3? Do you remember? The number 3 of highly successful people. They have a habit-based system. What I mean by that, something happens in their life, they have essentially a go-to. Maybe it's mainly mindset. So something I'll share with you, I shared it with the clients yesterday and the sales team. One of the things, because it took me, hey, guess what? I served in the military for 23 years. I never liked working out, ever. And I know it's important. I want to be healthy. I want to feel good. I want to be there. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good father to Riker. Show him I take care of my body, right? Do you think there's most days I don't want to do it? my habit-based system for that.
He's out running you now. You got a little 6-pack.
My habit-based system is this. Anytime I know I need to do something to better myself and I don't feel like it, or my habit-based system is, here's what I say to myself. Yeah, this is why most people aren't successful in life. So when I think, when I'm starting something and I'm like, I'm resistant to change, I'm feeling some type of way. Oh, yeah, this is why most people aren't successful in life. And then number two, my other habit-based system is if I've had consistency with something in my life, and then maybe I've been doing it for a while, a month, 2 months, 3 months, and one day I just like skip it, but it's not a big deal. No, this is when my habit-based system goes to, oh yeah, this is when most people quit. When things get a little hard, when when you're dedicated yourself to a workout or you need to get a project done, but you've been traveling and you think, oh, it's okay. No, this is why I say, hey, this is when most people quit.
No, he goes, oh, this is why most people are fat.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hey, I'm just throwing it out there because now that's what I'm thinking. Oh, I don't want to go on my walk. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's why I weighed almost 200 pounds a couple of years ago.
Congratulations, you lost how many pounds in 12 months?
Right, guys,
But hold on, but everyone thinks there's a special secret. What is the special
And by the
secret?
way, Charlene, thank you for your purchase. Please keep me posted on what you think of the book. That's amazing. Thank you.
What's the secret, though? How did you do it? Everyone is always so complex. It's the exact reason why you should join the workshop, right? How do you do it? How do you do it? You're asking the wrong.
And the reason we're having this conversation instead of talking about exactly what online education course you should do is because if you don't have your systems and your mindset dialed in, you ultimately won't be able to properly, complete these courses, use these courses, be able to communicate about these right people and perform the job of the course. I know that sounds so crazy, but
No, it doesn't, because here's some stats. People who buy a book off Amazon.
yeah, Charlene just did it. I'm pumped.
People that buy a book or that buy some type of online course or education. Do you know what percentage of people actually finish that?
Charlene, don't fall in this group.
Do not fall in this group.
I got piles of books.
7%.
I believe that. How many? I mean, guys.
Why are you going to buy a book? I mean, why would you do that?
I'm laughing because you keep asking me questions and then you don't let me answer them.
Okay,
so
go.
I don't even know.
Why do only 7% of people that buy books or invest in some type of education complete it?
Because they're not following their habits, they're tired, and they think that it's not going to make a difference.
Maybe it makes them feel good to where they bought it, but they do it.
I don't know, but I'll tell you guys what. If you have ever thought about writing and publishing your own book, go to last week's podcast episode.
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed Mike, who owns Dream Starter Publishing, who helped me publish my book. And it's funny, he shares some stats around it's something like 90% of people around the world at some point have mentioned they want to publish a book, but it's like less than 3%. Quotes on the other podcast episode that actually are able to do it. And ultimately it's self-doubt, self-sabotage, and lack of confidence. And you will have a hard time maintaining a certain level of confidence if you don't have good habits. Because when things are going wrong in life and you're getting beat up and you're getting rejected, and you don't feel good, you don't have motivation. Let's be real. This is like half of the day. I mean, when I get up, it's like, I got to go through my checklist of things that I need to do to feel good about who I am in the world. And when I miss those check boxes, slowly it's chipping away at my confidence. And then I am no longer the person that finishes the book or finishes the course or goes in network or does anything. So habit-based, because when you start interviewing and you're rejected and you feel like crap, and again, people's coping mechanisms don't look very good. So as you're moving through all of this and you're upskilling, getting more interviews, and Charlene, you're building the network, and Jonah, you've got your new mentor. If you're not staying aligned with who you are, the best version of yourself and your purpose, things tend to unravel really quickly, and it can turn into days, weeks, months, and years of. Um, Hang on, Jonah has a comment. Jonas Mentor said, "Make yourself invaluable to your leader. Make yourself invaluable to your company." And that's exactly what we're talking about. So, Tim, what are some things that are crucial on an interview in terms of what we talk about? So I know that varies, right? We're talking about all different industries.
Well, no, I got it. I got one. My best tip for you. You need to have a blueprint and a roadmap. So you need to join our workshop. If you want to get better at something, you need to know. So think about this. Let's talk about interviewing for a second. You need to know the different stages of the interview. You need to know them deeply. You need to know best practices of things that you should do on the interviews. And then you need to know the best practices of things that you absolutely do not do. You need to know the phases. You need to know the best practices, and then you need to simply practice. You also, when we talk about upskilling as well, or did you have another question before I talk about technology?
I wanted to mention, lately I've been thinking about imposter syndrome quite a bit. It's a huge buzzword on LinkedIn and across, publications and books and blogs and everywhere. It's like imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome. I've talked about it a lot. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it. I talked about it in my book somewhere. I've held entire workshops on just that topic alone, imposter syndrome, but I no longer think it exists. Because I just think imposter syndrome, fear and self-doubt, haven't done something before, which is natural. But if you take the actions to do those things, move toward that, and then repeat and repetition until you're good at the thing, the imposter syndrome is gone, which tells me that it does not exist. So it's just lack of planning, lack of action, and lack of repetition. So I look back on like videos of Tim and I, years back now, podcasting, coaching, and I'm just, man, I remember being very nervous. I remember doubting myself. I remember being flooded with fear during those moments. And quite frankly, also, I look at it and I'm like, I'm not exactly sure I even like listening to it at all, But from repetition now is what makes me feel very confident about this. That's it. So what if you could cure all of your self-doubt by doing an action and then repeating over and over again? Guess what? Now you don't have to feel powerless to self-doubt and powerless to fear, because now you have a tool and a system to do it and get rid of that. Like, that's it.
You're going to, the analogy I give to clients a lot, I'm sure today, thanks for tuning in, is, hey, when you talk about being scared comes from, right, number one, just straight lack of planning, because here's why. What I tell them is, I'm a military guy, right? Years, U.S. Army Field Artillery. Hey, if I'm dropped into combat, imagine this, you've never served in the combat, right? Let me ask you a question. If you got dropped into combat, do you want to know how to use your rifle? Would you want to know how to call for help? Would you want to make sure your backpack was full of things that you needed in case you were out there for a prolonged period of time? What about if it's cold? Like your cold gear, right? What are you going to do if someone, these training environments? So right now, most of you that are in a job or in a career without the right blueprints and training, you are dropped into a combat zone right now. You don't know how to fire a weapon, call for help, and you don't have the right supplies. So I can only imagine, Christina, I have a very easy question for you. Do you want to get dropped into combat when you don't know how to fire a weapon, you don't know how to use your flashlight, you don't know how to call for help, and you don't know if you have the right stuff and how long you're going to be out there?
You can teach me all that, and you still are not dropping me into a combat zone anywhere. But yeah, think about that. We want our armed forces to have a plan.
Using an analogy.
I know. Can you imagine if our armed forces did not have a plan and the supplies that they needed?
They didn't train. So remember, okay, I'm not saying, hey, you might still be a little scared, even when you when you're trained, you're going to be less scared. The more that you do it, the less scared you will be over time. It is impossible to go through these stages and not feel like, hey, like for instance, if you've never been on an interview, even if you practiced before and it's been a long time, you're still probably going to be a little nervous.
But
right?
guess what? When you get nervous, it's a signal that you're growing. That's how you have to view nervous and fear. It's just a big marker for, hey, you're going the right way. If you don't experience any fear or any nervousness or whatever, you're stuck.
Yeah. Hey, it's 2024. You need to embrace technology. Listen, I get it. We came up. Hey, we getting older. We just
didn't know
really
this
take
stuff.
care of ourselves. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is, we didn't grow up, right? We didn't have Snapchat when I was 12 years old, and now I'm approaching the workforce, right? So what I'm basically saying is, hey, you are going to have to learn how to leverage technology and use it to accelerate your career in not just getting a job, but other factors, right? We have a tech system right now at Exec Upgrades that 30% of our people are hired because of automated systems that we have built, right? But they have to learn that system with our help, right? What about, there's Chat GPT, there's other things out there that can help you, so much technology, but so many people don't want to take the time to learn it, don't want to take the time to leverage it, and then they're confused on why other people beat them out in different areas. Be a lifelong learner and be committed to continuous development. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. And then you're going to blame everyone else but yourself.
Where you have to hire somebody. I heard a story yesterday about a dentist locally that closed their office because they didn't do anything technical. They just were doing their paper chart, and they just decided to close their office. They didn't want to advance with their computer systems. Well, some people fear this whole technology thing, and if you continue living in that space and don't go ahead and deploy it in every area of your life to make things better and easier, you're only robbing yourself because it's not going anywhere. It doesn't have to take over. Like, if you take a look at Tim and I's daily life, for example, you see the podcast. We have, yes, an automation software, we have a really cool CRM, but it's not like we have robots working over here. Like, I think people are just like so scared that things are just.
We don't even know. Hey, we're still figuring it out. We don't even know if the sound's working.
Yeah,
right
we
now.
still had to plug the cord back in. It's crazy.
Yeah. Hopefully, you guys can still see us, right? But hey, some other things you need to consider when you're talking about, hey, how do I level? How do I? You need to rely on feedback. Peers, people above you, ask them for feedback. And why don't you ask them like this? Hey, your boss, hey, John, I'm just trying to get better, and I'm committed to getting better. Barbara, I need some help. I was hoping you could provide me some critical feedback of some things that you think I could improve on, and I won't hold it against you. Okay? People don't do this, man. They don't do this. How are you supposed to be better if we live in this environment of participation trophy? You're doing, it's like our parents, right? You're perfect just the way you are, never change, which means what? What happens if you never change? You don't grow.
Yeah, so as we get older, my definition of love is to
love ain't lies, man.
Is to help your significant other reach their goals and their potential. So
I got a good story for you. What happened a couple days ago when I was talking to you? I told everyone this story, by the way, right? Be careful, right? Be careful. That's one thing that's really good about me and Christina, though.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, and it drives us nuts, but we know it's for the best. When every time I bring something, right, I'm like excited about the project that happens, and you're always going to be like, yeah, everything looks good, but you forgot this. And one of the taglines she said is like, hey, I am going to provide you critical feedback. I mean, really though.
Yeah, I make a joke like I'm not a good feedback person, but I just don't.
You provide good feedback. You just also want to say like, hey, these are some areas though that I think could be improved so that you can have what you really probably want.
Yeah, it's because And it's that same sort of this voice that can come off like very critical. Trust me when I tell you this internal dialogue that I have with that. I'm cracking up because now I sound like the Lulu. But it's that same voice that drives me to make sure that I don't take no for an answer. I get everything I want in life. So I guess that's sort of like the double-edged sword of being a,
Well, no,
high achiever.
I'll help you out.
Okay.
Hey, you better get serious. You better be serious about your career. I tell you what, the people that we work with and we train, we make sure that they take this seriously. And if you're going up against people that take stuff seriously in life, you will lose. You think Kobe took stuff seriously, or Michael Jordan, or LeBron, or any of the? Do you think they take stuff seriously? Do you think they care about who's on their team? Kobe straight said, "Hey, I don't care how much they pay you." While he was on the Lakers, if I don't see you early, staying late, giving it your all, I ain't throwing you the ball during game day, whether you're a starter or not. So how serious do you want to be, right? We take career serious.
And it's like, it's the moment when you realize no one is coming to save you. Like, no one's coming to save you.
Dreams don't happen on couches.
Tim and I are not coming to your house. Like, no one's going to promote you if you're not. No one's coming.
No one's coming.
No one's going to build a six-pack for you or build the awesome relationships or travel the world. Jonah, fear equals false evidence being real. Gosh, if I had $1 for every time somebody said that throughout the years. Scott mentioned, he invests and people invest a lot of money in education and secondary education. But you also have to ask yourself, did you put 100% in and do everything experience? Oh my, like, because like if you're a client here, for example.
Well, I got an example of a book.
I have a big diamond on this pen. It might be just big enough to knock them out.
So back to the book. Right? Hey, when I read a book, right, I'm looking for one thing. I'm looking for one thing in the book. You are not going to read any book, and every page is going to be cool. And you might have to read some back.
Yeah, it's wild. And, I think people, I'm just going to say this, like a lot of people come into our program and think, okay, I'm enrolled now. Tim and Christine are coming to the house. They're going to hold my hand, walk me. They realize they do have to put in some work, quite a bit of work on the mindset to start with. And I like Scott's question, which is, did you put in 100% and do everything you can get out of the experience in these learning atmospheres? Again, are you connecting with your mentors? Are you asking high quality questions? Are you coming in with excitement?
Yeah. One thing, even
willing to collaborate
with the people that we work with, some of the consultants, we always ask ourselves, I love asking ourselves this question.
Jonah's lighting up the comments, by the way. Thank you, Jonah. I love having you today.
Thanks, Jonah. But hey, back to when we are working with consultants and we see everyone successful with them, like Cardone Ventures, right? We want to be the best clients. When I work with people, I want to be the best clients. I want to demolish everyone and have so much success. That's what I want. So here's what I say. How can I position ourselves in the best way possible to get the most results? That's
You're going to love what I'm about to tell you then.
Yeah.
I was talking to Mike from Publishing. You watched him last week, and he helped publish his book. It's a large organization that helps professionals publish their book. I think they're on like 350 or something. Mm-hmm. But at their team meetings, you're going to love this. I forgot to tell you this. Yeah, their executive assistant, Ashley, always mentioned, man, I loved working with Tim and Christina. They're on the ball. Why can't these people be like Christina? Why? And I was like, I'm so excited to hear that. You know why? Because I wanted to be great, right? I wanted to show up to my call on time. I wanted to be prepared, open-minded, ask great questions. I wanted to put my all into the experience.
Deadline.
Just like Scott's point. Didn't meet every deadline, but I did try. But like, you want to leave a lasting mark. You want to influence people. You want to have impact no matter where you are. And so we have a ton of clients, right? And there's probably a handful right now that I see are most active in Slack. They're on every single call. I have one coming up in 15 minutes. If you guys can believe that, I'm going to keep talking about this stuff for the next hour. But yeah, it makes a difference.
Back to Scott's point, like, hey, just investing in the training is one thing. It's like, did you give your effort? Because back to the books, I'm sure that they work with, they have people from probably 2 years ago that invested a decent amount of money that said they wanted to write a book. I bet you there's some. I bet you there's a couple.
That never did it.
2 years later, they're still pending some type of edits or revisions. And it's like, this is why, hey, we talk about, and wrap up with this.
And Christy, let's shout out Christy. She's the best.
Yeah.
She's dropping all of our links and comments. And
thank you, Christy.
she's like my number one cheerleader. And she's probably going to send me a report after this to let me know about all the stats from today's podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you, Christy.
They're awesome. This is why, too, real quick, hey, it's so easy. This is why. Right? It's so easy to have success. It's so easy. Because if you show up and continually learn and follow these things, you beat out everyone. Because, hey, I'm sorry to say this, there's easy people out there. So it's really not that hard to have success in your career or multiple areas. You just have to show up every day, and you have to be committed to success, learning, right?
First rule of success is to show up.
Show up.
If you want to feel good, go ahead and take a shower, put on a clean shirt, and get moving.
Yeah.
I mean, really, some people just, they don't even get dressed for the day. How many people show up to our Zoom calls and they just look like garbage? I mean, seriously. And you can't feel good like that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, people that come and maybe want to work with us and aren't a great fit because they're not.
Oh yeah, we have those clients schedule calls. And not saying you need to show up in a professional suit or anything, but some of these people, this is why we created the interview outline tool, right? Mm-hmm. Which is to show you, like, well, we just did it here too. I mean, I'll keep it real with you. We were just looking for an executive role for upgrades, and you were not very happy with a lot of the video interviews, So
yeah,
it's easy to win.
I interviewed one of our staff members, 7-year-old this week. Come and join. Follow me on Facebook or Instagram. You probably saw this, but 7 years old, wants to come and clean. Can you believe it? He has a passion for cleaning. I'm like, come to my house. But we did an interview this week, and he came. He had his nice sharp shirt, Zoom call. Yeah, he was writing with his goals. He wants to make a lot of dollars. He wants to be a professional athlete. He's skipping college. Like, he was a plank. And on my Facebook, that's what I said. I was like, that's like 90, better than 90% of the show.
So, hey, let's recap this as we close up for today. So, hey, again, go to career.execupgrades.com/workshop. We're dropping a link in. You can email me at timothy@execupgrades. Again, that's March 19th, 12 p.m. Eastern. Event will last 4 to 6 hours. Going through clarity, how to get on interviews, how to be successful. And you absolutely do not want to miss out on that event, because we want to help you make success easy for you. So today we talked about leveling your skills, right? So some of the things we talked about, identifying skill gaps. You have to have that growth mindset. You have to set clear learning objectives. You have to invest in yourself through time, money, and resources. Training. Hey, I would recommend getting a mentor or a coach if you're struggling in some area. We have peer networks. We have leveraging technology. We have getting critical feedback. And most importantly, what Christina talked about.
By the way, this is why Tim's book is called Discipline Equals Dream Job. Okay, he's not saying get your dream job. It's saying it requires discipline to be in a role like that. So that's why we talked about
this. Let's wrap up on that. Hey, I want someone, if someone is ever managing again one day, I want them to have discipline. I want them to have discipline. So, hey, until next week, hey, if you need help in your career, to go to execupgrades.com/podcast. Have a great day.